Are we falling prey to the Western world's ploy?
Why not US bring it? Just because maybe they might have committed some mistakes, but that doesn't mean that they cannot bring this resolution.
No. How do I know? How do I know that the Americans are not using the cover of human rights violations to interfere in the sovereignty of a third world nation? That's the question tonight. This is a deliberate attempt at interfering with the sovereignty of a third world nation. Dr. Maitreyan and Mr. Raju, you'll have to concede that.
Again, you are distracting from the main point.
How?
Arnav, you want me to answer?
Anyone can answer.
How is it that we are not telling the Sri Lankan government that they have to do this?
Watch it. Mr. Raja first. Mr. Raja first.
Mistake has already been committed by the Sri Lankan government.
My position on
there is no
times
question
clear.
of interfering in the sovereignty
it is
of the
not
government.
that India should follow United Nations. India should follow United Nations. It is United Nations which has suggested there should be an impartial international investigation into war crimes and human rights violations. India is the immediate neighbor.
Sir,
and India knows fully well what has happened in Sri Lanka.
Coming from a communist, it is very...
India has a moral responsibility.
Sir, coming from
India should have taken a lead.
Sir, coming from a communist, it's very interesting that you're backing an American move.
As far as LTT is concerned, where is LTT? The Sri Lankan government declared it has won the war against LTT, and there is no LTT. Mr. Swamy should understand.
Let Mr. Swamy
and you also should explain this to the people of this country. And now it is question
Subramanian Swamy.
The excess committed by Sri Lankan army.
One minute. Subramanian Swamy will respond. Subramanian Swamy will respond. Dr. Maitreyan of the AIDMK. One minute. Dr. Maitreyan I'll come to you, but I want to get in our Congress participant tonight. Manika Tagore. Please tell me, Mr. Tagore, why this indecision, sir? Why this confusion? You're seeing a human rights violation being committed right before your eyes. Tamils have been tortured, killed. It's all right you win a strategic war. Why is your government so unsure about what to do?
No, we're not unsure. I'm not speaking for the government. I'm speaking for the Tamil Nadu Congress first. One, we need to take India's security concerns and India's interests and the 30 lakh Tamils who still lives in Sri Lanka.
Oh.
We need to take a line which should be for India's security as well as the 30 lakh Sri Lankan Tamils. I am repeating, 30 lakh Sri Lankan Tamils lives in
Why are you worried for their security?
Sri Lanka.
Why are you worried about them? What is the concern? Can you elaborate?
No, we need to, whatever decision we are going to take, it should take into these two factors into consideration. Then only we can have a clear-cut decision. And one thing is very clear that the draft, whatever we are speaking about it, the US sponsor or whatever being, the draft has not, Indian government has not got that draft till of now. Let the draft comes, then
no, you're avoiding.
India is going to come out with a statement tomorrow.
I think you're avoiding a position.
No, I'm not avoiding.
I think again you're avoiding, ducking the question.
I don't know. No, not at all. I am very clear. I am saying that the priorities are two. One is India's interest and two is Sri Lankan Tamils who are living there in Sri Lanka.
So what should we vote against Sri Lanka or for Sri Lanka? Please tell me that. Should we support this resolution or not?
I don't know. We have to be very clear that the draft is not been in anybody's hands.
Sir, you're
still Americans does not.
Sir, you're avoiding the question.
No.
You know what it's about.
I'm not avoiding. I'm clear. I'm very clear. I'm very clear in
Sri Lanka.
One second.
Now,
there is no question of India's security involved.
No, one second. Why are we mixing up? Why are we mixing up human rights violations with geostrategic interests? I want someone to clearly tell me tonight. This is our. If we vote for this resolution, the Sri Lankans won't like us. China will enter Sri Lanka. It will back Sri Lanka. If India votes against Sri Lanka, Sri Lanka will get closer to China, increasing China's geopolitical influence in the region. Why are we avoiding that question? That is the real issue, isn't it? Dr. Maitreyan, is that the real issue or not?
This is the issue. Sri Lanka is using the geopolitical equation in order to blackmail India.
India should have taken the proactive step. In fact,
we need to be responsible people first.
In fact, Tamil Nadu Assembly passed a unanimous resolution that India should initiate action to take the matter to the UN about the war crimes in Sri Lanka and see that the guilty are punished, and also work with the other nations to see that an economic embargo is brought on Sri Lanka till Tamils are given their just position. We have passed a unanimous resolution in the Assembly as early as June 2011, but the Indian government did not do anything. When our government has not done anything, at least US has done something. It may be a watered resolution, but at least there is something.
So,
we need Sri Lankan government to be accountable for the war exercise.
So why don't we ask the Americans first? Where are the civilian casualties the maximum? Civilian casualties in Afghanistan are the highest since the invasion, totaling 12,793 people killed in the past 6 years.
About Afghanistan. We are talking about
who are the Americans to lecture us? Who are the Americans to lecture? No, 1 second. Miss Stanley, answer that. Who are the Americans to...
When our own Dr. Manmohan Singh failed.
Mr. Arnold?
Our own Dr. Manmohan Singh has failed to do his duty.
Sir, the question is, who are the Americans to preach human rights?
Don't call anybody fail, Maitriyan.
1 second.
Whatever resolution you want to pass in an assembly, you had asked for a resolution, you had passed a resolution pardoning those people who had killed Rajiv Gandhi.
Your Congress MLAs also voted for that. Your Congress MLAs voted for that resolution.
Right. Not Congress MLAs has not voted for it. Don't tell a lie. Don't tell a lie that Congress MLAs has voted for it.
See the assembly record.
Let us see the record. You also see the record.
I simply want to. I want to know whether Subramanian Swamy has been listening. Or first of all, two questions.
Be responsible Indians first. Don't play for the game of. Don't play politics on the dead bodies.
Why should we mix up human rights violations with geostrategic interests? Subramanian Swamy, your response. Why should we mix these two up? I see no link.
Well, we are not university professors to worry about the dimensions of human rights things. We are now talking about what government stand should be, and that is a multi-dimensional decision. And we are Indians first and Tamils second. That is what these DMK and ADMK people should understand. They passed ridiculous resolutions in their assembly saying for Tamil sentiment, the killers of Rajiv Gandhi should be set free. I've never seen a more idiotic resolution passed in any assembly anywhere in the world. So that sentiment must first be overriding. We are Indians first. What is our interest? This issue is as old as Prabhakaran's death. The human rights excesses took place in 2009. Prabhakaran died in 2009. Now they're saying the LTT should be forgotten. Well, then forget these human rights excesses also and go in for what the Tamils should get now. Should get a separate state within the unified Sri Lanka, and they should get their rights. Let us put pressure on that.
No, but the BJP and the NDA and you, Dr. Subramanian Swamy...
government did not do it for the last 3 years.
No, 1 second. 1 second. I have a question for Subramanian Swamy and Smriti Irani. Smriti Irani, to you first. The BJP has been against all terrorist organizations. And if I remember correctly, the stated position of Dr. Subramanian Swamy, he's at strong positions against terror organizations.
I want to say something.
No, 1 second.
Mr. Arnold, I want to say something.
Okay, before the question comes in, go ahead. Ms. Stanley is coming into the debate. Ms. Stanley, go ahead.
Yes. See, listening to Dr. Subramanian Swamy about the unanimous decision of the taken in the Assembly of Tamil Nadu government and saying that it is idiotic and all that, I can never accept it. Okay? This is not only first Indian and then Tamilian, all these things. We do not want him to say all these things now. We want the Indian government to
you are a separatist
support
party.
The US resolution which has been brought before the UN Human Rights Council. That's all. That is the question today that we raised.
Do you accept that you are Indian first?
Yes, why not?
Arnab?
No.
Why not? Are we not Indians because we are supporting we are fighting for our Tamils in Sri Lanka?
About resolution and not about Indian and Tamilian.
Ms. Stanley, respond. Ms. Stanley, respond.
Yes, what is this?
No, my question here is, I have a question for the question which comes from our viewers. One of our viewers asks, what if tomorrow America wakes up and President Obama doesn't like India anymore? And he said, let's needle them a little bit. So we bring in a resolution on human rights violations in Kashmir. Right? What will we do then? is the question I have for our panelists.
Don't go for all this imaginations and all that.
No.
Okay. Even if one minute, even if a problem comes
if America wants to use human rights violations,
there is no genocide happening over there.
I am asking you tonight. It's quite clear tonight. America is using the bogey of human rights violation. I'm not saying what has not happened in Sri Lanka, but America selectively uses human rights violations to push for its own geostrategic interests. Otherwise, they would have first acted against violations of the American forces in Afghanistan.
Don't deviate the problem. Don't deviate the problem.
No.
This Indian government, we expected that the Indian government should have brought such a resolution before the UN. Now that it is a welcome measure that the US has brought it, and the countries like Norway and France are also supporting it. Our leader has categorically said that Indian government has to support this move by the US.
No, I find everyone's having confused positions on this. To Smriti Irani, my question is to Smriti Irani, the BJP.
You are confusing the questions to everybody.
One minute, ma'am. To Smriti Irani, my question is.
Very clear in this stand.
Yes, ma'am.
For the first time in the parliament, they saw that both AIDMK, DMK, the comrades, all of us from Tamil Nadu, we stood together on this issue.
100%.
And the BJP, the leaders from the BJP, by Mr. Ahluwalia ji and then Venkaiah Naidu, they were also supporting our issue.
I take your point, but
it was a unanimous decision. Even the Tamil Nadu Congress, Congress leader Mr. Gnana Desikan also said that the government should, as a Tamilian, also say that.
Miss Stanley, with all respect, Miss Stanley, with all respect, Miss Stanley, with all respect, when the genocide was happening, your party wrote letters to the Prime Minister, and that's it. They just wrote letters to the Prime Minister. And that's it. Now you are coming to the fore. The UPA is having problems. You are coming to the fore. You are joining. You are putting the pressure because the Congress party looks a little weaker. My question to the BJP is: you've been against all terrorist organizations, right? The BJP stand on the role of the United Nations in Kashmir is very well known, Smriti Irani. Do you find yourself in a bind here? Because tomorrow your potential allies like the AIDMK will not accept a position. AIDMK is watching you. Jayalalitha is watching you. If Jayalalitha finds today that on this you take a position different from hers, she will not be able to tie up with you tomorrow. She will not tie up with you. That's why your hands are tied. Smriti Irani, is my reading wrong?
No. Issues of national importance can never fall victim to political pressures. Let me just answer the question that has been posed by your viewer, for which you were seeking an answer from the panelists. That what if somebody tries to move a resolution against India on the subject of Kashmir? If you remember, in 1992, Pakistan had the ill intention of moving such a resolution against India, where P.V. Narasimha Rao actually gave Atal Bihari Vajpayee the responsibility of leading the Indian delegation and defeating the ill intentions of Pakistan. That's why I'm coming back to the point that I made at the beginning of this debate, that why is it that the government of India did not bring about political consensus on an issue of such international significance?